I know exactly why you're here. You're here because life has been feeling a little off, as if you're lucid dreaming or something like that. I'm going to give you two choices. You take the red pill, and I will show you just how deep the rabbit hole really goes. Now, you take the blue pill. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm all out of blue pills. I only have red pills. The truth and the inconvenient truth. This is the pill that most people don't like. However, I do also have a black pill. Now you're probably wondering, what happens when you take the black pill? Well, absolutely nothing, because this is just a vitamin, but it is good for the body. But if you take all three pills, I will reveal to you Obama's last name. Alright guys, we are back with another episode, and today we are going to be talking about 5 life lessons that the movie The Matrix taught me. Now, the movie The Matrix is probably one of my top 3 favorite movies of all time. When I was a kid, I really liked The Matrix because it was action-packed, but as I got older and I started to understand the philosophical concepts, I love it even more now. So let's get started. And the first life lesson I learned from the movie The Matrix: take the red pill, take the inconvenient truth, never take the blue pill, never take ignorance. No matter how inconvenient the truth may be, it's always better to go for the inconvenient truth than a convenient lie. Because when you're presented with inconvenient truth, usually it requires you to change, and many people don't want to change. In the beginning, the inconvenient truth may seem painful, but at the end of it all, it's all worthwhile. It's better than to have a sweet, convenient lie, the sweet blue pill. The second life lesson that the movie The Matrix taught me is ignorance is not bliss.
You know what I realize? Ignorance is bliss.
Blissful ignorance is actually fake happiness. It's like taking ecstasy, right? You're gonna feel happy, but that's fake happiness. It's not real. It's from a drug. Just like blissful ignorance is not real happiness. It's fake. It's better to take the inconvenient truth, deal with the pain for now, and then later you're gonna thank yourself for accepting the inconvenient truth and taking the red pill and not accepting blissful ignorance. And the third life lesson I learned from The Matrix is don't take the blue and red pill together. Do not accept ignorance and do not accept truth at the same time. Be either one or the other. Take one or the other. Just like the Bible says, God doesn't like people who are lukewarm, right? He either wants you to be one or the other. He would rather have you be totally ignorant than lukewarm. You're either hot or you're cold, but do not be lukewarm. Because once you're lukewarm, objective truth goes completely out the window. Once you accept 2 contradictions and you believe in both of them, the objective truth goes out the window. So you got to be one or the other, right? Because the red and blue pill are both contradictions, right? One is ignorance, one is truth. They don't belong together. They're both different. They're contradictions. Do not take both of them. Do not accept ignorance and truth at the same time. It even says in the Bible that a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you cannot have 2 contradictory beliefs in your head. Otherwise, the objective truth goes completely out the window. So take one or the other, but do not take both. Either stay ignorant or look for the truth, but do not take ignorance and truth at the same time. And the fourth life lesson I learned from The Matrix is do not lie to yourself and do not let dissonance get in the way of truth. If you lie to yourself and you believe your own lies, you do not have respect for others, you do not have respect for yourself, and objective truth, like I said before, goes out the window. And I'm going to read to you what dissonance or cognitive dissonance is. So cognitive dissonance, this is why people get upset when their beliefs are challenged, and mental conflict occurs when beliefs are contradicted by new information. This conflict activates areas of the brain involved in personal identity and emotional response to threats. The brain's alarm goes off when a person feels threatened on a deeply personal and emotional level, causing them to shut down and disregard any rational evidence that contradicts what they previously regarded as truth. Here's a good example of cognitive dissonance. I once presented information to people about politicians, right, doing things that go against the beliefs of their supporters. For example, I provided evidence to people who are Biden supporters that Biden is doing things that are going against their beliefs. I also showed evidence to Trump supporters that Trump is doing things that are going against the beliefs of the Trump supporters. Now, when I was presenting this evidence, people on both sides got kind of hostile. Instead of accepting this new evidence or looking into this fact, they completely ignore it, shut it down, reject it, and try to explain it away. And when I would say something bad about one or the other, often people like to box me. Like if I say something bad about Biden and I'm like, hey, Biden is doing something that's going against your personal beliefs, what they will say is, oh, you must be a Republican, you support Trump. And then vice versa, if I say something bad about Trump, that Trump is doing something that goes against the beliefs of his followers, the people on the other side will tell me, oh, you must be a Democrat, you must support Biden. What if I told you I don't give a crap about either? Like, what if I told you I don't care about this guy or this guy? Just because I'm against meth does not mean I support heroin. I'm against both. I don't need to support either or. I'm against both. Don't try to box me. And the fifth and final life lesson that The Matrix taught me is don't try to use pleasure to numb yourself because your life lacks meaning. Often, when people's lives lack meaning, they will try to numb themselves with cheap pleasure, such as casual sex, alcohol, fast food, not being okay with being alone. Some people need to date somebody 24/7. They can't stand being alone at all. And they're always looking to date somebody because they hate the feeling of being alone, because they feel like their life is lacking in meaning. And usually when people's lives are lacking in meaning, they will numb themselves with pleasure. Exhibit A, Dan Bilzerian. Now, I don't need to be a psychologist to figure out that Dan Bilzerian is a very insecure little man. He has to have women around him 24/7, people around him, attention, because I can easily tell that he is a very insecure man. He has to have casual sex all the time. He just seems super insecure. I don't know if you guys ever seen, podcasts with Dan Bilzerian, but he just looks really, really sad all the time, and I can tell from the body language to how he talks to his tone of voice. It's kind of easy to tell, that his life lacks meaning, and that he kind of numbs this with cheap pleasures. And that's what people do. So instead of numbing yourself with cheap pleasure, try to look for meaning in life. I found my meaning. I don't need to date anybody to find meaning. I don't need drugs. I don't need alcohol. I don't need fast food. I don't need anything to find meaning. I don't need to numb myself with cheap pleasures. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. And remember, take the red pill. All right, we're done.